Same thing gonna happen with Spence. They're gonna figure out some type of excuse why Terence Crawford was successful in the Canelo Alvarez fight.
I'm different. I'm a elite fighter. So that's the difference, big difference.
But after fighters fight me, they never the same. So I just hope your career continue.
If you look at my career, never the same after me.
Terence "Bud" Crawford has issued a stark warning to Saul Canelo Alvarez, vowing to dismantle the Mexican icon with the same clinical ruthlessness he displayed against Errol Spence Jr. As the anticipation for this super fight builds, Crawford has offered his own insight into what he believes is Canelo's mindset. He suggests Alvarez feels that his extensive experience against every conceivable style, from orthodox fighters to southpaws, means there is absolutely nothing new that Crawford can show him inside the ring. According to Bud, Canelo believes he has seen it all and is prepared for anything.
I don't know. I just think, sometimes some fighters, they fight to their level of competition. And, I think he's definitely more experienced, with more well-rounded, given the experience that he had in the Floyd Mayweather fight. So we shall see.
Yeah.
No, he just seen a lot of fighters. He's been through the boxing game for a long time. He got a lot of experience, and in his heart and soul, he feel that I'm not gonna show him nothing new that he haven't seen before. No, not at all. Like he didn't fought southpaws, he didn't fought orthodox fighters. So, he's been in the ring with a lot of fighters, and in his mind, he don't see nothing new that I can bring to the table.
Further expanding on his mentality, Crawford frames this potential bout not just as a fight, but as a historic showdown between two active legends to settle the debate over who is truly the best. He is supremely confident that he will deliver a special performance on September 13th, making it clear that while many observers focus on Canelo's power, it will be his own skill and ring intelligence that ultimately shine brightest and determine the outcome.
I'm a legend too, so we got two legends fighting each other, and I'm definitely daring to be great, and I'm going to be great September 13th. I'm not taking no credit away from Canelo's skills. A lot of people, they only talk about his power, but he's very skillful in there, and he's respected.
In a fiery back and forth, Canelo Alvarez did not hesitate to return fire with a sharp warning of his own. He suggested he hopes the massive payday from Saudi Arabia is worth it for Crawford, because after they share the ring, Crawford will never be the same fighter again. For Canelo, this fight is far more than just another payday. It's an opportunity to leave a permanent, damaging mark on his opponent's career and prove there are levels to this sport.
We're gonna find out.
And don't get me wrong, you're a great fighter.
I know I'm great.
You're a great fighter, but you're gonna find out. I hope your uncle Turki Alashi pay you enough money, because it's gonna be the last. That's for sure.
It may be. Maybe.
I hope he pay you enough.
But after fighters fight me, they never the same. So I just hope your career continue.
If you look at my career, never the same after me.
However, Terence Crawford remains entirely unfazed by the warnings and the noise. He addressed the likely reaction from fans and critics should he hand Canelo a loss, predicting that, just as with the Errol Spence fight, people will quickly invent excuses to diminish his victory rather than give him his proper credit. For Crawford, this is simply part of the game, and he is fully prepared to silence the doubters once again.
They're gonna make excuses. The same thing happened with Spence.
Same thing gonna happen with Spence. They're gonna figure out some type of excuse why Terence Crawford was successful in the Canelo Alvarez fight.
You gonna retire if you win this fight, or you're gonna keep going?
I don't know. We shall see.
It is what it is. I got the style, I got the skills, I got the heart, and I'm not gonna sit around and...
The tension between the two champions only escalated at their face-off, where Canelo forcefully shoved Crawford, sparking a heated confrontation that nearly erupted into an all-out brawl on stage. Security had to react swiftly to separate the two pound-for-pound greats before the situation could get completely out of hand, adding even more fuel to an already explosive showdown. Reflecting on that intense moment later, Canelo Alvarez admitted that the shove only made him more fired up for what lies ahead. He made it clear that the confrontation has him even more excited and fully locked in for their September 13th date, as he is eager to settle their rivalry inside the ropes in a clash that promises fireworks from the opening bell.
I'm turning on right now.
Right? Yeah. Did it make you want to go harder for the 13th?
I don't know, but made me feel more excited.
Love it.
I'm gonna train so far. I've been in this sport like so many years. I had so many good fights in my career, and I had the experience to adapt myself to these kind of fighters. I fight everybody out there, every style, and I'm gonna do my job and put all my experience, all my talent there, and that's it. I'm different. I'm a elite fighter, so that's the difference, big difference.
Boxing analyst Shan Zittel weighed in on the shove, suggesting that the moment came across as somewhat contrived or staged. He pointed out that such moments of drama often play directly into the hands of promoters and event managers, who want to generate as much hype as possible to amplify the excitement for an already massive matchup.
No. That's not, there's 30 security guards.
It feels a little contrived.
You think so?
I think a lot of people feel it's a little like.
Well, I'm glad you used a big word that most of us don't know.
Sir, New York, that's a weak ass push by Canelo. And that is not Canelo. What he did with Caleb Plant, that was real. He slipped him and then slapped him, and that was like, okay. This felt like, hey, social media saying you guys are being too friendly. We're paying you all this money. We're putting the knockout bonus there. Come on, we got a fight to sell. Let's heat this up a little bit. Obviously, they're both great fighters, and they're both coming to win, but. I don't want to get too deep into it today, but my thoughts on this, the big picture, like what's looming, the fight to me, because I'm the journalist, right, is an afterthought.
Adding another perspective, the Wade concept offered his own take on the face-off, describing the dynamic as a game of tennis. He noted how Crawford and Canelo took turns stepping forward, sizing each other up, and raising the stakes with each interaction. For him, this psychological back and forth is setting the stage for a fiery collision once the first bell rings.
Once the bell rings.
Watch Terence. Terence is not stopping here. He's walking straight up to him, way past Dana. Here's halfway. He's like, nah, I'm meeting you at your front door. And he's backing him up. Oh, and then there's the shove. Look at Bomac. Look at Bomac. Oh, shit, we got everybody getting in there. Reynoso, security, Michael Buffer. It's a game of tennis. It's a game of back and forth, because this time Canelo walks up on Terence. Like, yeah, okay, you got that one off. Watch this. Now I'm going to push you back a little bit. Yeah, see, I'm going to push you back just a little.
Looking back at Crawford's past performances for clues, Sean Porter shared a fascinating story from Bud's fight with Errol Spence. Porter recalled hearing from members of Crawford's own corner that their fighter had completely abandoned the game plan. Crawford himself later confirmed this, admitting he was so fired up that he fought purely on instinct and raw aggression. For Porter, this is definitive proof of just how dangerous Crawford can be when he lets that inner dog take control.
On my way out of the room, I was talking to his cousin, a couple other people, and I think it might have been Shakur, but somebody said, yo, he didn't even have a game plan. I said, what? He said he didn't have a game plan. He was asking us what he should do before the fight.
Shakur specifically, right?
So I think it was Shakur that said that. So then I talked to Crawford after the fight, and I know I talked to him on the podcast about this specifically, but then I talked to him afterwards, and I said, stop saying you didn't have a game plan. You had a game plan. He said, look, Sean, we had a game plan, but in the locker room before the fight, I just was fired up. And he said he had, even walking out to the ring, he had it like, just so much energy, passion, dog. He wanted to go right after Errol, So using that story again to relate to everyone, you're right. That dog is gonna be there, and he understands that he has to be smart.
Echoing support for Crawford.
English pro boxer Denzel Bentley echoed the support for Crawford, admitting that at first he wasn't sold on the matchup and felt Crawford shouldn't move up to face Canelo. But as the fight has drawn closer, Bentley's confidence in Bud has grown. He now believes Crawford has what it takes to pull off the upset, pointing out that fans haven't seen Canelo at his absolute best in years, which makes this showdown incredibly intriguing.
Oh man, at first I didn't like it. I was like, come on, don't do it, don't go up there, don't do it. But I just got closer. I'm believing in Crawford, man. I mean, I think he can pull it off. We haven't really seen the best of Canelo in years. I think his best days were at 160. When I think of it, that Danny Jacobs fight, that's probably the best performance I've seen Canelo in all these fights. I know he's had so many fights, we had better performance, but in recent times, just the lateral movement, the elusiveness, the way he lets his shots go, the just effortless kind of movement and flowing of punches. He hasn't been that since then. Since he moved to 168, he's just a powerhouse. He's slow with his feet, throws less punches than we've seen before. He's always looking for a big shot. That hardly sets anything up anymore. It's just his whole style has just changed, and it's worked for him because a lot of fighters go in there with that fear factor, like, oh my days, it's Canelo. Or he will wear you down at some point because he's so physical and strong, or when he hits you, you kind of don't want to know because he hits so hard. But I don't think Crawford's going to go in with that mindset. I think whatever Canelo brings, he's going to be able to match. He's got better feet. Even though at 154 his feet didn't look the best, but Majimov is a good mover. But he's got better feet, he can fight both ways, and I think he'll use more of his arsenal than what Canelo would use. So I think he would find it easier. So I think Crawford can beat him on point.
English pro boxer Denzel Bentley echoed the support for Crawford, admitting that at first he wasn't sold on the matchup and felt Crawford shouldn't move up to face Canelo. But as the fight has drawn closer, Bentley's confidence in Bud has grown. He now believes Crawford has what it takes to pull off the upset, pointing out that fans haven't seen Canelo at his absolute best in years, which makes this showdown incredibly intriguing.